Imagine working less but accomplishing more. Sounds too good to be true, right? Yet this is exactly what Buddha's teachings reveal. In a world that pushes us to constantly hustle and grind, Buddha invites us to slow down, simplify, and focus on the essentials. What if the key to success and inner peace wasn't doing more but doing less with greater awareness? In this video, we'll uncover how Buddha's wisdom can transform the way you approach productivity and achievement. The power of simplicity. In today's world, we are constantly overwhelmed with tasks, obligations, and distractions, all of which promise success and fulfillment. However, Buddha's teachings remind us that true peace and success come not from accumulation, but from simplicity. In Buddhism, simplicity isn't about deprivation or minimalism for the sake of it. It's about focusing on what truly matters and letting go of the clutter that distracts us from our true purpose. Buddha often spoke of the importance of living a simple, mindful life. When we simplify our external environment and our internal thought patterns, we create space for clarity and focus. Instead of scattering our energy across a multitude of tasks and desires, we learn to direct our attention to what brings us lasting peace and fulfillment. In this way, simplicity becomes a powerful tool for reducing stress and increasing productivity. The power of simplicity also lies in its ability to cultivate contentment. When we focus on what is essential, we stop chasing endless goals, achievements, and possessions that ultimately don't bring lasting happiness. Buddha taught that true happiness is found not in external accomplishments, but in the peace that arises from within when we stop constantly striving for more. By embracing simplicity, we free ourselves from the pressure of doing everything. We begin to understand that less truly is more. We create a life of intentionality where each action is meaningful and every decision contributes to our well-being and growth. In this space of simplicity, we find the clarity to achieve our goals with ease and balance. Mindfulness in action. In Buddha's teachings, mindfulness is not just a concept to be understood, but a practice to be lived. It's the art of being fully present in each moment, paying attention to the here and now without being distracted by past regrets or future anxieties. Mindfulness is about bringing conscious awareness to our actions, thoughts, and feelings, turning everyday tasks into meaningful experiences. When we practice mindfulness in our actions, we stop rushing through life and instead engage deeply with everything we do. Buddha taught that every action, no matter how small, holds the potential for profound impact. By focusing on each task with intention, whether it's drinking a cup of tea, walking, or having a conversation, we transform the mundane into a source of peace. When we bring mindfulness to our actions, we stop scattering our energy and instead channel it into what truly matters, making our work more effective and fulfilling. Mindfulness in action also helps us overcome the distractions and pressures of modern life. Instead of multitasking and spreading ourselves thin, mindfulness teaches us to concentrate on one thing at a time, giving it our full attention. This approach doesn't just make us more efficient, it also deepens our experience and allows us to fully appreciate the present moment. Buddha's wisdom on mindfulness helps us slow down and live with greater awareness. By practicing mindfulness in everything we do, we gain clarity, reduce stress, and experience life in its fullest, most meaningful form. Through mindfulness, we achieve more not by doing more, but by doing less with deeper focus and presence. Letting go of attachment. One of Buddha's most transformative teachings is the concept of non-attachment. In a world that constantly encourages us to chase after success, possessions, relationships, and validation, Buddha reminds us that true freedom lies in letting go. Attachment creates suffering because it fosters a constant desire for things to remain the same, for people to act a certain way, and for life to meet our expectations. This clinging creates anxiety, fear, and disappointment as we inevitably face the impermanence of all things. Buddha taught that attachment to outcomes or possessions is one of the greatest sources of stress. We often become attached to an image of how our lives should unfold or to the things we believe will bring us happiness. But when these things are lost or threatened, fear and anxiety arise. By letting go of attachment, we can embrace life as it is, free from the anxiety of control and the fear of loss. Letting go of attachment doesn't mean detaching from life or from caring about the people and things we value. It means releasing the need to control or possess them. When we practice non-attachment, we learn to appreciate the present moment without clinging to it. We allow things to flow naturally, accepting change and uncertainty with grace. This shift in perspective frees us from the constant pressure to accumulate, achieve, and hold on, allowing us to experience a deeper sense of peace and contentment. Through non-attachment, we find that we no longer need to grasp at life's fleeting moments. Instead, we can fully experience them, knowing that nothing is permanent, and this very impermanence brings beauty and meaning to our lives. The middle path. Buddha's teachings on the middle path offer a powerful antidote to the extremes that often dominate our lives. In a world that encourages either indulgence or strict self-denial, the middle path provides a balanced approach to living, a way to navigate life's challenges without falling into the traps of excess or deprivation. Buddha famously said, "Avoiding extremes, the wise find the middle path, the path that leads to peace." This path encourages us to live with moderation, finding harmony in our actions, thoughts, and desires. The middle path is not about avoiding pleasure or denying ourselves joy. It is about understanding that true happiness does not lie in excess, but in balance. Buddha taught that the extremes of indulgence and self-mortification both lead to suffering. "There is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path," he said. This means that the pursuit of happiness lies in living a life of balance, neither overindulging in worldly pleasures nor denying ourselves the natural joys of life. By following the middle path, we learn to let go of the need to chase external achievements, wealth, or success. Instead, we cultivate an inner peace and contentment that doesn't rely on external circumstances. Buddha also taught that the mind is everything, what you think you become. So, by focusing on the present moment and living with awareness, we can achieve more with less stress, choosing the path of balance and mindful living. The middle path allows us to work, love, and engage in life's activities without getting lost in them. By embracing moderation, we free ourselves from the extremes that cause suffering, and we create a peaceful, fulfilling life that is aligned with our highest values. Acceptance of imperfection. Buddha's teachings on impermanence and the acceptance of imperfection offer profound wisdom for overcoming fear and anxiety. We often strive for perfection, whether it's in our work, relationships, or ourselves, believing that if we could just get everything right, we'd be happy. However, Buddha taught that perfection is an illusion. "The way is not in the sky. The way is in the heart," he said. The path to peace and happiness does not lie in flawless execution, but in embracing life as it is, with all its imperfections. The fear of imperfection often leads to anxiety, as we put immense pressure on ourselves to meet unrealistic standards. Buddha's wisdom reminds us that life is not meant to be perfect. It is meant to be lived with awareness, acceptance, and compassion. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. This quote emphasizes the importance of self-acceptance, flaws and all. We must learn to love ourselves even when we fall short of our expectations. Imperfection is a natural part of being human, and when we accept it, we release the pressure of striving for unattainable standards. Instead of feeling defeated by our flaws, we begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Buddha taught that the root of suffering is attachment, and when we let go of our attachment to perfection, we free ourselves from the cycle of constant dissatisfaction. By accepting imperfection, we create space for inner peace and self-compassion. This acceptance allows us to embrace each moment as it comes, learning from our mistakes without judgment or fear. We find that true happiness lies not in perfection, but in the ability to fully accept ourselves and the world around us. Focus on what truly matters. In a world constantly filled with distractions and competing demands, Buddha's teachings urge us to focus on what truly matters: our inner peace, relationships, and spiritual growth. Too often we get caught up in the pursuit of material success, external recognition, or fleeting pleasures, believing they will bring us happiness. Yet Buddha wisely said, your work is to discover your work, and then with all your heart to give yourself to it. True fulfillment comes not from external achievements, but from aligning our actions with our deepest values and purpose. When we focus on what truly matters, we free ourselves from the distractions that lead us away from our true path. Buddha taught that when we live with intention, we bring clarity and meaning to our actions. By discerning what is important, whether it's cultivating kindness, learning, helping others, or pursuing personal growth, we can channel our energy into areas that nourish our soul. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This reminder helps us focus on the here and now, guiding us to invest our time and efforts in the things that bring us lasting peace and fulfillment. Focusing on what truly matters also requires letting go of unnecessary attachments and distractions. Buddha's wisdom teaches us to simplify our lives by choosing to prioritize meaningful experiences over temporary gratifications. When we focus on what truly matters, we begin to live more authentically and peacefully, aligning our inner values with our outward actions. This focus ultimately leads to a more balanced and contented life. Buddha's teachings remind us that true fulfillment doesn't come from doing more or acquiring more, but from focusing on what truly matters, living mindfully, embracing imperfection, and aligning our actions with our deepest values. By letting go of distractions and simplifying our lives, we create space for inner peace, growth, and genuine happiness. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to Monk Mindset for more wisdom on living a balanced, purposeful life, free from the noise and clutter of the world.